Hi, good morning, everyone on Instagram. Oh, hi, good morning, everyone on Instagram. Oh, I got these new headphones, so I'm figuring out what to hear on myself. Okay, great. I'm Ford, and I'm one half of the writing partnership L.Skyford, and Sky and I are going to be talking. Well, I'm going to be talking at Sky today about Intercepted by Alexa Martin. Oh, there's so much reflection. Uh, I've been up since 5 today. I'm a zombie because it's Pitman Day and we are pitching our book, Departures, trying to get us an agent, trying to find some people to query, doing all that jam. Sky. Ahoy!
Hi. I'm
Great.
somehow taller than I was before. Sorry about that. Hi.
Could you please take off your morning stilettos?
Right, just wearing those for a hot
Y-
second there.
yeah, I know about you. Hello, welcome, good morning.
Uh, sorry, there's still a frog in there. I don't typically talk to a bunch of people before the early hours.
Yeah.
Um, I have not been up since 5 a.m. Though if I had been, still wouldn't have been talking to a bunch of people at 5 a.m. Too early. I very much not early person at all. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'm a retweeting zombie right now. I'm just like, tweet deck. Hi. Yeah. Okay. Matter at hand, intercepted. Now,
Yes.
this isn't our usual fare because it's a sports ball romance.
Yeah, so I don't understand.
Okay, oh, great. Great. This is like where I'm like, no cowboys. I think the rest of our book club is like, sports is, we don't need that. We don't need sports. Um, yes.
Having said that, not because we sought him out, but I will say we've read some pretty decent sports ball troped romances, but not like we did not go looking for sports ball. So I think
It's true.
yeah, that's what it is. We
Yeah.
don't look for it, but it's nice if it's in there.
Right. I don't, I know you have told me we've read a bunch of sports ball, but like I can't remember any of the sports balling parts of those romances.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is kind of also, there's not a lot of sports ball in this book. So it's based off of football. Now, you are from Colorado. Do you know your Colorado pro football team?
Okay, firstly, I lived in Colorado. I am not from
Right.
Colorado.
Yes. Sorry.
Um, and
You're American from Colorado.
yes, yes, I spent my American years in Colorado. I do know the sports ball team because I was student of the month once and won tickets to go see them. I
Did you go?
no, yes,
Oh,
no, my dad took my brother on my tickets
got
because
it.
boy, gender norms, whatever,
Yeah.
BS. But yes, they're the Broncos. They're orange and blue. I'm very familiar. Now my brother is a big fan, possibly because he went that one time. Who knows?
Uh,
And
uh-huh.
when I got tickets, they were very good. I remember I can name you like a bunch of stuff. Like I think the number 88 is significant. I know John Elway played on the team because my car was from John Elway Auto at some point, and I know that he's a sports person. Yep, that's it. That's where I'm at.
Going, going great. Going great.
Also, I call it American football because when you say football, I think soccer because
Yeah.
it's football, and I played that, and I can talk about that and the teams that I followed a bunch more.
Well, we're talking about American football. We're talking about the pigskin, the gridiron, the upright. So this is where we get to the most of the end of my sports balling. I did wear my sports ball jersey, repping my team, the Packers. Um, well, it's funny enough, the team that this series is set around is called the Denver Mustangs.
I see. Well, it's hard to get the licensing for the actual NFL team.
I mean, they name all the other NFL teams. like when they
Maybe
reference other groups and teams. I think it's just like
interesting.
this is not, we don't want to be compared to any persons living or dead or whatever.
Okay, that makes sense.
Um,
Yeah.
all right. Anyway, Denver Mustangs. The book is about Marley, and Marley is dating a wide receiver named Chris. Do you know what a wide receiver does? A wide rec
Receives widely, obviously.
yes, wide receivers catch the ball. That's
Okay.
yeah. Uh,
Yeah. So
like the big long throws. They're the ones catching those usually.
okay. So
Um,
fast runny people,
fast running people, yes, and like it's
not
usually
like big wall of defense people.
correct. Offense player, great, you're doing great, and of stars of teams, it's usually the quarterback and the wide receiver, and it's always about like a good pairing
Okay.
because
That should be, by the way, that should be an MM romance right there. Like you just pitched something great.
oh, that's
How,
delightful. Put
is
that on our
that a
list.
thing, right? How is that not a thing? I would have to do a lot more sports ball research, obviously, but
Yeah.
that could be a thing.
It could definitely be a thing. Um, so Marley's dating this guy named Chris. He is a D-bag. He is like totally stuck up D-bag. And she finds out that, and they've been dating for like 10 years. So they're like long-term relationship. He was her first boyfriend in high school, so she's been with him for a while. And she finds out that he's been cheating on her again. And she said that after the last time, like 4 years ago, she found out he was cheating. They took a break. While they were on the break, she hooked up with this guy in Chicago. And when she woke up in his bed the next day, she realized he was a football player, and she's like, not another goddamn football player. And so she like ghosted him. Come, yeah,
No, no, I'm just shifting my weight from one
okay,
foot to the
okay.
other. The
I thought
stilettos
you
are
were
really
like,
getting to me.
sure, sure. You should put on your stiletto house shoes. They'll be more comfortable.
There we go.
Yeah. Okay, so now present day, she's found out Chris is cheating on her again. She leaves his ass, and the team is getting a new quarterback. Uh, the quarterback happens to be the guy she hooked up with in Chicago, who has been basically her number one fantasy since their hookup. So they get together pretty quickly because this book so much happens to Marley. She gets like attacked by a drug dealer in a park. She like it just like keeps getting like like she oh well there's a whole side story about how she's in a group with all the other football wives and how they're terrible to her. And so there's all this like female microaggression that she deals with. And um while she's dating Gavin, he gets injured and can't play for a game because of her, not because of her. An accident happens, but it's public. People videotape it. And so essentially all of Denver hates her. Like this poor girl goes through some shit in this book, and it's a lot. But the chapters are short, and you're like, oh my God, how did that happen to her? And we're on to the next thing. So uh, it's a journey. It's a journey. Yeah, it's a thing. Um, that is definitely the most memorable part to me. Like, I don't remember a lot of the sex scenes. Like, those aren't very notable for me. It's all the stuff that Marley goes through just to, like, find happiness and love and, like, self-fulfillment.
I feel like you just named, so yeah, so the books, the sports ball books you don't remember that we've
Yeah.
definitely read are have a lot of these same themes. The sports team wives,
Hmm.
not being a welcoming community to our main character is is a thing. Romance book club
Oh,
has
yeah.
that exact same thing where it's
They're
baseball, but
baseball, right.
right, but she isn't welcome in the sports ball wives club, and
Hmm.
then um Yeah, and then the right swipe. I mean, the right swipe is about football and about CTE injuries,
Oh
and goes
yeah.
really detailed into that. And I actually that was one of the big things that beyond Alicia Rye's writing, that was one of the big things that stood out to me about the right swipe. But it starts with her hooking up with him and then ghosting him. Um, Not for the same reasons, but that like so then they re-meet and it's an
Hmm.
awkward like, oh, we
Yep.
were a really good chemistry, but it didn't
Yeah.
you chose not to make it work out and now we have to talk through
Yeah.
that or deal with that. So yeah. So see, you remember at least one other one.
I
Um
remember, yeah, bromance. The right swipe, I'm like, this sounds vaguely familiar. So, yeah.
yeah, well it's about a retired football player
Mm,
rather than a currently playing one.
yeah.
Uh, but yeah, and then there's I mean there's also Fixer Up by Tessa
I don't
Bailey.
I don't think I've read that one. I think I've read
All
yes, that's right. Rules of Engagement is the first one of hers I read.
tools of engagement. Tools, not
That
rules. Is that what you said?
mm, I I don't remember anymore. Zombie, Twitter zombie.
uh, so really, moral of the story
Yeah.
here: don't be a Twitter zombie, or do if that's your jam, I guess.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, if one is required to be, just know that homonyms will not be your friend.
so memorable, action packed. Would it make a good movie?
But yes, I think it would be a good movie. It's got a lot of it's got a lot of beats. It's got a lot of like this and then this, and it's got, football players in tight pants, and there's, she goes to games, so you got, the football game sequences, but you've also got, and as much as I really hate it, caddy lady infighting. Um, there's a lot of commentary of being in the limelight and like people are always videotaping you out in the world. There's some commentary on uh, homelessness and and then also like the difference between her overall journey is self-fulfillment. Like she doesn't stay with Gavin. Like that's sort of their black moment is that they break up and because he tries to grand gesture her and surprise her the completely wrong way. And so she goes on this journey to find herself. And it brings them back together, obviously, because this is a romance. But uh, it's it's not always just like Gavin all the time. Now we're happily ever after. There's some self fulfillment action happening.
That's great. So one of the other sports related romances that I read, maybe you didn't,
Hmm.
Helen Hunting's Good Luck Charm.
Yeah,
Ho
that doesn't sound familiar.
Hockey player instead of football player, but one of the things about that book that stood out to me as um I guess notable. A thing I noticed, it's not notable so much as a thing I noticed about that book is that she becomes, well, she's objectified in the title, right? She's an object in the title, and she
Hmm.
continues to be that. And so, by the end of the happily ever after reflects his needs a lot more than her needs. So it's nice to
Mm,
see that that this book made her needs the primary focus since she is the lead character.
it's a single POV, so that is helpful.
Yes.
Um, hockey romances feel like the only other sports ball romances I could really get behind. And I was just thinking about it as you were talking that maybe I need my men parts to hit each other. That maybe plays a big part in my sports balling.
Wow, so the testosterone level has to be very high.
I like an alpha. I mean, I like a beta too, but like I like an alpha, gruff, beardy, muscly romance character.
Um, so that was gonna be my question. My question really has been since you picked this up and I didn't, is why, like, what's the trope and what's the attraction, which I think partially you just answered, right? It's
Yeah.
the, like, the alpha male with the heart of gold, I
Oh
assume.
yeah, yeah, yeah. He's problematically Prince Charming in that he's always coming in to save Marley, and she's like, "Bro, back the fuck off. Let me save myself." All the time. Yeah, and then like Marley is just trying to be happy and live her own life and not live off of somebody else's sports ball money. Uh, and just generally be a good person and have people treat her well. And she has to really go through some shit to find that, to have that. Let's see, other important tropes. Other important tropes. She's got a sassy best friend. Actually, a couple sassy best friends. She's a graphic designer, so she starts working for a really hip ladies bar, and not like a gay bar, but just like a ladies bar. Like they show Real Housewives on the TVs instead of sports ball. And it's yeah. Anyway, there's we talked about the wives, the opposite of the evil wives club.
Right.
Yeah,
The evil wives club.
the evil
Uh,
wives club.
um,
Uh,
a bar for ladies sounds like a thing that would be needed for some people, right? A place you can go to get a drink where you're not also constantly pretending that you have a boyfriend or whatever it is that's necessary.
yeah, or where you can just go and like hang out with your gal pals and eat some tapas and drink some martinis. I think they mentioned that they have a deal with Skinny Girl. Like it's a frou-frou ladies place, and the way she describes it was really great. It felt, in my mind, it had a lot of like pink neon and like awesome crazy art, and it just felt very like a female space, which is a rare thing.
Particularly in the bar scene, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just like, oh, Denver's cool. Okay, cool. All
I
right.
mean, Denver's not bad.
Denver's cool. Yeah.
Um,
Rousing commendation.
no, I mean, like, my issue with Colorado has to do with the weather and not
Mm-hmm.
with. I very much like Denver. I do think that if I lived anywhere else, because Denver is the biggest city in Colorado, if I lived anywhere else in Colorado, I would not be as excited. But Denver
Yeah.
was very cool. There's a lot in the art scene. There's a lot in the theater scene. It's very supportive. There's a lot in the arts. So yay to Denver in that way. It's cold and dry, and my hands were always chapped, and my lips were always chapped, and I can tell you every brand of chapstick there is because I've used all of them. In fact, the current like wash your hands and sanitize your hands all the time has made me put the tiny container of lotion back in my pocket, which is a thing that I used to do in Colorado all the time. Because after you wash your hands, you then apply lotion to your hands. In fact, like restrooms have lotion in the restrooms right next to the soap pumps because otherwise you would just chap
Yeah.
like chapped hands is terrible. So no, my opposition to Colorado and really any state with like consistent weather, consistent snowy, coldy, below 40 degrees Fahrenheit weather is no, just
Got
no.
it. Got it. Copy that. On that rousing endorsement of no snow never,
No snow never.
no snow never. That I think that's it for us. Let's wrap it up. It's been quite a time. Have you read this book? Did you love it? Are you going to read it? Tell us more. I marked the two sex scenes in case we needed to get into it. We didn't need to get into it. Let's see. If you have any suggestions for books you'd like us to read, also slide into our DMs. I will send you a GIF. I like GIFs. Great. What else? Follow us on Instagram. Here, you're already here. You can follow us on Twitter at SkyfordL, and that's our jam. Anything else, Sky?
No, I think you've covered it pretty well. I have to say, that it is unlikely that you've sold me on the genre, but
Well,
right, I will read them.
I'm gonna
Uh,
keep reading. I liked this enough. I'm gonna keep reading.
the
It didn't,
series.
yeah, it didn't feel like one of those nothing happens kind of romances. So I'm gonna pick up the next one.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, I might borrow that actual physical copy from you and read it during the winter break because I'm still pretending that I will have a winter break and I will have time.
I like this plan.
Yes, that's the plan.
Yeah. All right. Goodbye, Internet Universe.
I like
And
that.
and you, Sky.
All right. Goodbye, Internet Universe.
Oh, goodbye. Oh, there we go.